Have you ever noticed that the people everyone likes aren't always the people everyone respects? And the people everyone respects aren't always the people people enjoy being around? It's a strange paradox. One person walks into a room and everyone smiles, but nobody listens when they speak. Another person walks in and the room goes quiet, but no one feels comfortable enough to approach them. Then, every once in a while, you meet someone who somehow has both. People laugh with them, trust them, listen to them, follow them, and you can't help but wonder, what do they know that everyone else doesn't? For the longest time, I thought being likable meant making everyone happy. I thought respect came from proving I was smart. So I spent years trying to do both at the same time. I said yes when I wanted to say no. I tried to sound impressive instead of honest. I laughed at jokes that weren't funny. I apologized for things that weren't my fault. And strangely, the harder I tried to be liked, the less people respected me. The harder I tried to earn respect, the more distant I became. Have you ever felt that? Like you're constantly adjusting yourself depending on who's in front of you. Around one group, you're funny. Around another, you're quiet. Around someone important, you suddenly forget how to speak naturally. You leave conversations replaying everything you said, wondering if they liked you. It's exhausting, isn't it? Here's the truth that changed everything for me. Likability and respect are not opposites. They're partners, but they grow from different roots. Likability comes from making people feel good around you. Respect comes from showing people you respect yourself. Miss either one, and the relationship becomes unbalanced. Think about a tree. If one root grows deep while the other stays weak, the first strong wind knocks it over. Relationships work exactly the same way. I remember meeting someone at a networking event years ago. He wasn't the loudest person in the room. He wasn't wearing the most expensive suit. He wasn't trying to dominate every conversation. Yet somehow people kept drifting toward him. They listened when he spoke. They laughed when he joked. They introduced him to others. At one point, I watched him disagree with someone, and instead of creating tension, the conversation actually became stronger. I couldn't figure it out. Later, I realized something fascinating. He wasn't trying to win people over. He was trying to understand them. And because he wasn't chasing approval, people naturally gave him respect. That leads to the first lesson. Stop trying to be interesting. Start becoming interested. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But ask yourself honestly, during most conversations, where is your attention? Is it on the other person? Or is it on yourself? Most people aren't listening. They're preparing. They're waiting for their turn to talk, thinking about the perfect story, wondering if they sound intelligent, worrying if they're boring. Imagine having a conversation while staring into a mirror. That's what self-consciousness feels like. You can't truly see another person because you're busy watching yourself. The easiest way to become instantly more likable is to replace performance with curiosity. Ask questions that don't have obvious answers. Instead of asking, "How was your weekend?" Ask, "What was the best part of your weekend?" Instead of asking, "What do you do?" Ask, "What part of your work do you enjoy the most?" Do you notice the difference? One asks for information. The other invites a story. And here's the beautiful part. People don't remember the person who talked the most. They remember the person who made them feel heard. But don't mistake kindness for weakness, because curiosity without boundaries creates another problem. Which brings us to the second lesson. Respect begins with the word. No, most people fear saying no because they think it will make them less likable. Ironically, constantly saying yes often makes people value you less. Imagine borrowing a book from a library. If every book were available all the time, would any of them feel special? Scarcity creates value. Your time works the same way. When you agree to everything, people stop appreciating your yes because it costs you nothing. When you politely protect your time, your energy, and your values, people learn something powerful about you. They learn that your decisions actually mean something. That doesn't mean becoming rude. It means becoming clear. There's a huge difference. Instead of saying, "I guess I can," say, "I'd love to help another time, but I can't today." Notice what's missing. No guilt, no long explanation, no apology for existing. Confidence isn't loud, it's clear. Have you ever noticed how the most respected people don't rush to justify every decision they make? They don't feel the need to convince everyone. They simply communicate with calm certainty. And strangely, that calm certainty makes people trust them more. Now here's where things become really interesting, because respect isn't just built by what you refuse. It's built by how you respond under pressure. Picture a glass of water. Shake the glass and whatever is inside spills out. Life does exactly the same thing. Pressure doesn't create your character, it reveals it. Anyone can smile when everything is going well. Anyone can sound confident when everyone agrees with them. But what happens when someone interrupts you? When someone criticizes you? When someone misunderstands your intentions? Do you become defensive? Do you raise your voice? Do you desperately try to prove you're right? Or do you stay composed? The third lesson is emotional control creates silent authority. There's an old saying, whoever controls the emotional temperature controls the conversation. Think about that. When two people argue, the calmer person often appears stronger. Not because they're smarter, not because they're louder, because emotional stability signals called confidence. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm while everyone else is running around in panic. People naturally look toward the person who remains steady. This doesn't mean hiding your emotions. It means choosing your response instead of reacting automatically. The next time someone criticizes you, pause, smile slightly. Ask yourself one question. Do I want to win this moment, or do I want to win the relationship? That tiny pause changes everything. It transforms conversations from battles into bridges. And once you learn that, another hidden secret begins to appear. People don't respect perfection, they respect authenticity. For years I believed I needed to sound flawless, no mistakes, no awkward moments, no uncertainty. Then I watched one of the best speakers I'd ever seen lose his train of thought. He stopped, he laughed, he admitted it. The audience laughed with him, not at him, and somehow they trusted him even more afterward. Why? Because authenticity removes distance. Perfection creates pressure. Authenticity creates connection. The fourth lesson is let people see your humanity without giving away your self-respect. There's a balance here. You don't need to overshare every insecurity. You don't need to pretend you've never struggled either. When appropriate, admit mistakes. Share lessons instead of pretending you've always had the answers. People admire those who grow, not those who pretend they've already arrived. Think about your favorite teacher. Was it the one who acted like they knew everything? Or the one who explained difficult ideas with humility, curiosity, and warmth? Exactly. Knowledge earns admiration. Humility earns trust. Together they create influence. Now, here's the final lesson, and in my opinion, it's the one that ties everything together. Give people a feeling, not an impression. So many of us spend our lives managing impressions. How do I look? Did I sound smart? Did they think I was successful? But impressions fade, feelings remain. Years from now, people probably won't remember your exact words. They won't remember what shoes you wore. They won't remember every story you told. But they'll remember how they felt after spending time with you. Did they feel judged or accepted? Did they feel small or inspired? Did they feel ignored or understood? Every conversation leaves an emotional fingerprint. The question is, what kind are you leaving behind? One of the most respected people I've ever known had a remarkable habit. Whenever you spoke to him, you felt like the most important person in the room. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't scanning the room for someone more important. He wasn't trying to top your story with one of his own. For those few minutes, you had his complete attention. And here's the fascinating thing. People called him charismatic, but charisma wasn't some magical gift. It was focused presence. In a world addicted to distraction, attention has become one of the rarest forms of generosity. When you truly give it, people remember. Let's put all of this together. If you want people to like you, make them feel seen. If you want people to respect you, respect your own boundaries. If you want influence, stay calm when emotions rise. If you want trust, let people see the real you. And if you want to become unforgettable, leave people feeling better than they felt before they met you. Notice that none of these require being the funniest person, or the richest, or the loudest, or the most attractive. They require something much simpler: presence, courage, curiosity, and consistency. Imagine meeting two versions of yourself 1 year from today. The first version kept casing approval, still overthinking every conversation, still saying yes to everything, still hoping people would finally validate them. The second version learned to listen deeply, speak honestly, protect their peace, smile more, react less, and value themselves enough that they no longer needed everyone else's permission to feel worthy. Which version do you think naturally attracts both friendship and respect? The answer has been there all along. Because people don't decide whether they respect you based on how desperately you try to earn it. They decide based on how consistently you live your values. And people don't like you because you never make mistakes. They like you because they feel safe being themselves around you. So the next time you walk into a room, stop asking yourself, how do I make everyone like me? Instead ask, how can I leave this room a little brighter than I found it while staying true to who I am? That single question changes your focus from chasing approval to creating value. And here's the beautiful irony. The moment you stop trying so hard to be liked is often the exact moment people begin to genuinely like you. The moment you stop demanding respect is often the moment your quiet confidence starts earning it naturally. Because real influence isn't about controlling how people see you. It's about becoming someone whose actions speak so clearly that your presence says everything before your words ever have to.